Hello and welcome to another MBON tutorial featuring Gundam Deathscythe Hell Endless Waltz version. Deathscythe Hell, or Deathscythe if you prefer, is a 2500 cost mobile suit that specializes in hit and run tactics, sneak attacks, and well-covered approaches. However, this suit has limited range capability, so the emphasis on well-covered approaches should be stressed here. Deathscythe's main weapon is the Beam Scissors Shockwave. This 2-ammo attack, after a brief spin, launches a low-damage crescent beam at the target. While the beam has a very wide hurt box, it has no tracking, making long-range shots very difficult to hit. Thankfully, it has only a 1-second reload time, meaning there will be no shortage of availability, especially for catching landings. The charge main is the Taurus support, with the support being in heavy quotes as the Deathscythe simply chucks the poor Taurus at the enemy, causing an explosion on impact. The ability itself requires 1.5 seconds of charge time and is applied as liberally as the situation requires. Particularly, I use it to stuff incoming melee attacks and apply some long-range pressure. For the sub, Deathscythe summons Gundam Nataku for support. With 3 uses on a 25-second reload time, Nataku, or Ultron, will assault the target with a barrage of trident thrusts, effectively locking the target down as if they were stunned. This assist has a unique property in that it, in a sense, targets the opponent twice, being able to correct itself up to 120 degrees after summoning. This tool is a key setup and approach and self-defense move for Deathscythe. On to the special shooting, the Hyperjammer. After stopping for just a moment, Deathscythe activates the Hyperjammer, rendering the target locker, hit points gauge, name, and the suit itself effectively invisible. However, similar to the Zero system, if Deathscythe is damaged, that damage is then multiplied 1.5 times. The effect will end if the Deathscythe takes any hit or attacks on itself, but will remain active if blocking or when the active cloak is disengaged. This move is the fear tactic, the ability that usually leave adversaries scrambling in a panic, or looking for another option, or simply running away as Deathscythe's silhouette approaches. Next is the aforementioned active cloak ability. Deathscythe closes its wing-like backpack, forming a cloak that nullifies all range attacks, up to 100 damage threshold. It has a reload time of 20 seconds, and is active the moment the button is pressed, regardless of animation not finalizing until a moment later, offering decent protection against range spamming moves. It can also block certain grabs, backpack tackles, long-distance melee attacks such as Hyperjammers, and certain pressure moves. While on the topic, let's briefly review the moveset changes that the active cloak engages. Your main becomes an 80 ammo head Vulcan that causes some simple stagger. Your sub remains unchanged, as does your ability to use the Hyperjammer. Pressing special melee again will release the cloak, and your melee attacks will have been relegated to neutral, charging, and back melee, which will either perform a heal drop for the first 2, or a backflip kick for the latter. Your burst attack also remains unchanged. Deathscythe melee attacks can be summarized as either punishing or displacing, and very rapid at both. The long reach of the Beam Scissors give an Air 2 priority against units with smaller weapons, and the normal 5, 4, and 6 combos deal slightly above average damage. However, the forward variants tend to throw the target far away, and the back variant results in a high damage pommel strike, which is great for racking on excess damage and pinning the target down. But this will leave Deathscythe open to being attacked itself. The charging melee is a rapid overhead stunning slash with excellent reach, making it very easy to catch targets below the Gundam. Last but not least, Deathscythe has a melee counter. No shooting guard is available, and the opportunities may be sparse, but this attack can be cancelled in almost any other melee variant. Deathscythe has a unique burst attack, the Slice and Dice, or referred to commonly as I'll slice you to pieces. Deathscythe will backflip while throwing its scythe. If the scythe connects, then it will dash behind the target under cloak via the Hyperjammer and execute a melee combo. It's short and sweet, but this move has a few other properties of note. First is that both the throw of the scythe and the dash to the target are armored, making this move safe to counter a melee suit, or otherwise throw out raw. However, it should be noted that the multi-hit move has a high down value, making it hard to combo into, out of fear that the target will drop out before the hit is complete. For burst picks, it's dealer's choice when it comes to E versus F. E allows you to survive longer and therefore distract more. However, I personally prefer F burst for the speed boost and damage gain. For partners, in my personal experience, especially leading up to this video, I lean towards any suit that can help you force a 1v1 situation. That is to say, suits with equal pressure, regardless of their range or cost. Chances are that, as Deathscythe, you will suffer at the hands of double lock. You need to be kept in check. With that being said, having an ally that is also a threat mitigates this and allows you to pressure the opponent some more without being barraged to death. And that really should just about do it for the Gundam Deathscythe Hell Endless Waltz version. I had a lot of fun getting these clips, and I'm not used to this playstyle at all. The losses felt hard, but the wins felt juicy every single time. It's a difficult suit to win with in Shuffle, but I can appreciate why some of my friends really love the feel of this thing. As you may or may not have known, this suit was selected as the next tutorial because it was the first voted on in my last video. And since I don't want to oversaturate just one series, I'll take on the first comment to not be from Gundam Wing or Endless Waltz. As always, thank you so much for watching, play what you love, and love what you play, and I'll catch you guys next time. So I guess that would explain a little bit of that.
今度仕掛けるときは俺のデータを取っとくんだな。落とす。隊長。外すもんか。当てる。外すもんか。トランカランストライダー。お願いします。頭だ。ストライダー。この距離ハイパードッジライフ。行け。ありがとうございます。隊長。やったれ。いやー。レンジに入った終わりだよ隊長。やっておくことがある。一気に突っ込む。取り除いた。死神様のお願いします。ストライダーでもハイパードッジライフ。すぎるぜ。父さんのガンダムを。結構な仕事だったぜ。
A fun little bit of trivia I came up with, if you guys will forgive the extra rant, is Duo Maxwell and the Deathscythe were supposed to be the main characters for Gundam Wing. It was a decision made partway through production that allowed Hiroyui to take the spotlight, but I suppose the original idea was to have this angel-devil motif, and that the Deathscythe, being the devil character, was to be the hero. So I just thought that was a little neato. I always wondered why Duo seemed to have more lines than the other Gundam masters and all that. He seemed like a favorite child for the producers for a good long time.